Okay, so what is conscious parenting?
Conscious parenting, it's starting to become a little bit of a buzzword. And from that point of view, Vanessa, it's kind of crazy that we should even consider what is conscious parenting. You might always, in humour, expect that a parent is always conscious of what they're doing. And they're always conscious of the awareness of what they're presenting to their children. And I think really conscious parenting is just that. Reaffirming in the awareness of the parents the abilities and the scopes and the sensitivities and the development and the skill set of these children and how they absorb and learn mainly through osmosis, through engagement, through observation, through listening. They know that you're lying 10 times faster than you realize you are. But they don't speak it. But sometimes they'll act it out. So conscious parenting is actually about bringing conscious awareness to much of the parenting model with a focus on children and how the dynamic between you are with yourself, you with your partner, will play out and will teach and will educate your children. And so that comes back and says, what are you educating, and are you comfortable with what you're educating? So that's the first part, because you are role models. The second part of conscious parenting is to bring some awareness around the flows of energy and the flows of development and the push-pull effect, so that you can give your child as much freedom as possible to become and express who they are, while giving them wonderful tools and awarenesses to work within the family model and to become part of a team. And those are often things we don't teach well as parents. All right, we get caught into the authority model or the I'm too busy model or get in the car right now model and some of these other parts. So conscious parenting is actually about becoming aware of what it actually is to be a parent. And it's becoming aware of what it actually is that you're parenting. Is this a child? Or is this a supreme being that is still so close to the non-physical world that they can surprise you if you support them in opening that doorway? And the best way to describe that is I can take any room of children and ask them if they have imaginary friends. And they all do. And the really different part is most parents don't tolerate those. Many parents tolerate them but don't do much with them. The really interesting part is I can get the child to tell me about that imaginary friend, and in the end I can describe the friend back to them better than they know. Because that friend isn't imaginary. It's real. It's real in their mind, it's real in their feelings, it's real in their heart, and it's so real that in most cases I can connect to it and describe it to the child. So this is a gift that most children bring to this world, and most parents are not aware of it, and they don't engage in it and they don't celebrate it. They call it make-believe. And then most parents forget that later on down life, they suggest to their children to imagine their success and to believe that they can achieve anything when they were dishonoured and discredited at the very beginning. So this is the dichotomy that most of our parenting carries today. So that's conscious parenting.
Awesome.
Exactly what you're doing and understanding exactly what you're doing it to or with.
Okay, so what is the listener going to get out of listening to this series about conscious parenting?
Transformational attitude around parenting, full stop. This series will open up a whole range of tools and experiences and what-if scenarios so that you can start to engage with your child in an enlightened state. So instead of seeing behavioural problems, you start to see discord or the fact that the child is responding to something. So instead of trying to stop its response, the child's response, you'll actually learn how to investigate what's actually happening. You'll find that the child, given the right encouragement by you, will amaze you and surprise you even more than they do now. You will learn how to connect with your child at a level that is incredible. And I'm not being rude here. All mothers have and all parents have a deep connection. But this will be a conscious connection. And it will be the framework that you lay down for the rest of your connection with that child, right through to adulthood. So you're going to get different things for different people depending upon where you are. But basically, tools, new ways of looking at things, an understanding of the ebb and flow of dynamics between two sovereign beings, and quite frankly, in some cases, an entry into the wonder and mystical world of pure innocence when they no longer are jaded. They have not yet been exposed to this world, and they carry an energy that's just, when you can let them tap into that wow space and sit there with them, it'll transform you. You'll find your whole life will start to become more uplifted and more adventurous. They carry beautiful creative energy. Just allowing yourself to sit in that, not as a parent, but as a recipient, will transform your own life. So those are some of the things the parents will get out of this course and listening to these recordings. And this is why we ask people to drop questions in, Vanessa. So much of this is when you listen to someone else's story or someone else's question or someone else's challenge, you go, my God, I'm having that too. And you didn't even realize it was a problem. You just thought your kid was argumentative.
Yeah, that's right.
This is why I love group work. And in these recordings, the way you will get the group work going is by people ringing in or sending in their questions.
Yes. If there was one thing in the whole world that we should teach our children, what would it be?
That they're magnificent. That they have an ability within them to reach outstanding levels of awareness and gift. That they can see and touch and feel magnificence. That they are an aspect of the divinity. That they are sovereign. This world is here for them. That's all. Teach them to know who they are. And teach them how they learn. And then you've done what Christ has done. He didn't teach them. He didn't feed them. He taught them how they could feed themselves. And this is it. So much of our parenting is about telling what and how and when and by. And we just squeeze out all the magnificence, all the zest, all the wow that these children bring. Most of us get in their way. So, one thing to teach them, you're a magnificent divine being. You're sovereign. You live the world through only your eyes. Hold true to yourself. Find the love inside yourself. Understand how you learn. Understand if you learn by seeing or doing or thinking or feeling or imagination. Teach them how to be still. Teach them how to find their magic place. Teach them how to be present. Don't worry about maths or science or French or any of the other things. Those are easy skills to learn when the child's in the right place. When the child's in that place of natural curiosity, when they're in that space of living in their flow and in their dream and in their heart, they will come to you one day and say, I need to learn about numbers, if they even bother to ask. They'll just set about learning them. All right? But we have this box and this curriculum and this outline that we squeeze them into. So I hope that answers your question. I hope you answers it well.